FIFA 09 on the PC, we've done a lot of work on the graphic engine, and this comes from the feedback we got from the media and the gamers on our last year's game. And what we've done is we've actually tried to spend a lot of effort to make the players look very realistic. So you see the players' faces, the kits, their boots, the ball, even up to the 3D grass. And this is because it's what people have been asking for. And you know, when people have a good PC, the game should look good on them, and that's why we spent a lot of effort on this year. You're going to see that the resolution and the quality of the heads they're identical to what you'll see on our PS3 and our 360 game, is because we're actually using the exact same art. Same thing with the 3D grass that we have, the effects you'll have on the skin, how the light bounces off of it, the sweat, etc. It's all been revamped completely because that's what the gamers are asking for, and that's what you should have when you have a good PC and you have a good PC game on it. When we made our changes to the graphics, we realized that obviously you have to be able to accommodate for a wide range of PCs. Some PCs are really high-end, some aren't as high-end. So what you're going to see is that even on the low-end PCs that we support, it's still going to play and look a lot better than it did before, but we're going to have a lot of different controls that you can turn on and off, so that if you have a better and better machine, you can make sure that you have higher resolution, or more and more of the features are turned on. So it's really up to your own computer, so it's really scalable, as any graphics on a PC game should be. What you're going to see in FIFA 09 in terms of the gameplay is it's going to actually feel a lot more realistic. So I guess you could say it's a bit more towards, moving even more towards the simulation side of the sport. And how you get to that is through a lot of the changes we made to gameplay. So I can talk about some high-level changes, but there's also a lot of little details we've done to make sure the positioning is more accurate, the teammate support runs are more logical, to little dynamic things we've done in terms of the throw-ins, where if the ball goes out of bounds and some of your teammates aren't nearby, then they won't be there when the opponent's ready to throw the ball in. They'll actually be running into position. So we tried to add a lot of depth to the game, to add more polish to it. And we've also done a couple things to slow the game down, in that you can use the new shielding, or the revamped shielding control, to really control it, shield a little bit more actively, and slow the pace down to make sure, wait the extra second or two until your teammates have come up if you've been caught upfield without any teammate support. So some of the bigger changes we've done in terms of gameplay, the first one is around the collision system. We looked at how it was behaving last year, and we thought there was a big room for improvement. So what we did is we actually threw out the old collision system and rewrote it from scratch. So how it works now is that it'll consider a lot of different factors in terms of what the collision outcome should be. So what's the height of the point of contact? Are you getting hit in the shoulder? Is the contact more in the midsection, more in the around your feet? Is it, what direction have you been contacted from? So looking at the 360 degrees around a player, which way should they be headed? What were the speeds of both players in the contact to make sure you get the velocities right, but also looking at what the strength attributes are between the two players, so that you'll actually find, say if you have just a relatively light collision shoulder to shoulder between two players, but one of them's really strong, like a DJ Drogba, another one's a bit lighter, like a Michael Owen, you'll see DJ Drogba just have a little bit of a reaction, but he'll be able to keep running, maybe keep the ball on his foot, he'll still be in control, where, as you've seen in the real world, a much lighter player might have a much bigger stumble or even fall to the ground as a result of that. And how we got to changes like this is we had to actually motion capture 350 new animations, getting in some real footballers to do it, and also we actually had to get some stuntmen for a lot of the harder impact collisions, because the real footballers didn't want to get hit that hard as we were doing. So collisions is one of the bigger things we worked on, and the other area is a number of features that fit in with the what I'd call a one-on-one situation, so player with the ball and a defender facing them. We've added in 4 new skill moves that gives the attacker a little bit more options to do if done right at the right time with a defender, just like in the real world. But what we've had to do to make sure it wasn't too powerful is we looked a lot about the attributes of the player. So you won't be able to actually pull off all these moves with all the players with the same level of skill. You'll actually have to make sure if you're pulling off from a standing position with a defender on your back, you want to do a little flick over your head. It's only a couple of players in the game that can actually pull that off well and with success. Otherwise, it'll be a failed move. You might lose the ball. It's going to fall off your foot or bounce off of you in the wrong way. So that's an example of what we've done with the one-on-one situations. But other things we've done is really minute details around player turns. So we worked a lot on turns, especially ones like 45-degree angle turns, to make sure that a good player, that can dribble the ball really well, can have much tighter turns and control the ball much more than a large player who isn't known for their dribbling skill. How do you use the tricks in the game, and are they necessary to actually play a good game? The way I look at the tricks is there's different levels of trick moves. Some of them are quite basic to do, like a lane change. Some of them are a bit more complex, like trying to pull from a standing position, a flick over your head. The way we try to balance the game is, no, they're not 100% essential. You can still play proper football, passing the ball, finding an open position with composure, and shoot with a good skilled player in that shot, and you can score a goal. So that has definitely been the intent of how we've balanced the game. But if you look at real world football, pulling off tricks for the players who are the ones that play with flair can add or create new scoring chances, put you in that position. And we've tried to make sure that's what you can do with the tricks, that they can also help you create those chances. But from our balancing and the testing we've done, you can also just play proper football with proper positional passing to create good goal scoring chances. What you're going to see with FIFA 09 is a bit of a change in the direction from a platform point of view with what we've done with the franchise. And one thing we're trying to do is we're trying to make sure that for a given platform we're making the right game for it. So people who play on the PC are different than the people who play console games. Console games like the 360 and the PS3, they're different from the Wii gamer or even a handheld gamer. So what we've done is we're actually trying to make the right game for that platform. So what we've done on the PC this year is we've added some very PC specific features, like the widgets, like the mouse control, etc. Now obviously when we release FIFA on a number of different platforms, we have to make sure our messaging is clear and that people on each platform understand what they're going to get. But I think the bigger message is we're trying to make sure that when we make a game, we're making the right game for that platform, not trying to make a game once and just say everybody wants the exact same version of the game. And on FIFA 09 on the PC, we've added a new control scheme, and basically it lets you use the mouse when you're playing the game. So if you look back at the game in past years, there were two groups of gamers. There's groups of gamers who played on just the keyboard, and there's the people who play with the pad. What we did is we listened to some feedback and we tried to make sure that the keyboard experience was a bit more natural and to give them some more options. So if you're a pad gamer, you can still play with your pad just as you've done before. But for the keyboard gamers, we've given them an option to not just use the keyboard but also use the mouse. So what it lets you do is it lets you, with your mouse pointer, point and click on which players you want to pass to, or point to open space and say that's where I want to play my manual through ball to. Other things that using the mouse let us do is it let us create a new version of sending a teammate on the run. So in the past, you'd be facing one of your teammates and you press the send teammate on a run button and they'd take a run up the field. This year, you can actually point to a specific part on the pitch and you click in the mouse wheel and you'll have a player you roll the mouse wheel and you have a player actually run to that spot. So you can create diagonal runs, you can make your teammates run backwards. And what it does is it creates a new dynamic of how you're actually building up your offense. Personally, how I like to use that is I'll actually find an open space up ahead, maybe on the wing, where I'll send a player on a run to and also pass to at the exact same moment. So you can see a player taking, say, a 45-degree run to that spot, and I'm sending the ball to the spot at the same time. And if you do it right, it can obviously lead to some great chemistry. The end result of all this, when you're, either you're point and click passing or you're clicking on the exact person you want to control when you're defending, is the game feels a little different because you're not looking at it in terms of I'm controlling this person and I'm making decisions based on angles away from that person based on your gamepad's left stick or based on the arrow keys on a keyboard. You're actually looking at it more from like a whole screen point of view where you're deciding where on the pitch you want a certain action to take place. So it does feel different. I think a lot of people are starting to give us some good feedback in our testing that's saying, hey, that's actually a really fun way to play. But at the end of the day, it's up to your choice whether you want to try the mouse and keyboard or you want to stick with a pad. Some people will ask, how is this new point and click mouse and keyboard way of playing the game? How is it gonna change how you play? Is it how you want to play? The thing we've done is we've made sure there's different levels of how you can play it. So for the more advanced gamer, which we are, the people making the game, what we do is you'll control your player movement through using the W, A, S, and D keys on your keyboard, and you do the point and click actions with the mouse. Now, I'll be honest with you, for the very first time you try it, it's going to be a little harder because it's a new skill. You have to learn how to play that way. It's not the same as playing with a pad. What we've also done for more beginner style gamers is we have a different way of moving your player around, so you don't have to use your left hand on the WASD keys. What you do is your player can just follow your mouse, and you're also using your mouse to point and click your passes and your shots like that. So we're giving people the options, but at the end of the day, like I say, it's up to you how you want to game, but I really encourage everyone to give the mouse control a try, because it is a different feeling, and especially for your passing game, it feels really good. So one of the depth features that a lot of our gamers ask for is manager mode. And it's one of those features that people who want to play FIFA a lot, some people fall in the camp of wanting to just play the game and the Twitch experience over and over again. And some people want to have a little bit more surrounding that, and that's where manager comes in, where you're making a lot of the decisions about how to manage the club, the ticket prices, the setting up your friendlies, doing the transfers, etc. So that's definitely still an important part of the game, but we're really trying to offer different experiences for the different types of gamers that are out there. Some want something that's much more focused on competitive online gaming, and we have a lot of stuff for that, and some other gamers are more focused on manager mode. That's really what they want. They love building up their team over 15 years and seeing where they can go and going through that experience. What I can say on manager mode this year is we've done a number of little things, listening to the consumer feedback and what the gamers have said, to fix up issues that they had with it, to work and add a little bit more control around how you can set up your friendlies and how you can negotiate your friendlies with other teams, which is really good in the transfer window, to make sure you have more opportunities to look at players and to make more bids and negotiations on getting the right player to come into your club. Pozdrawiam widzów Gram.pl.